Hare Krishna everyone. Hope you had a lovely day. Welcome to Soma Vedic Astrology channel. Today we will discuss about the placement 6th lord in the 7th house. What do you mean by the lord of the house in Vedic astrology? Now each planet has got a responsibility of handling either one or two houses. So this planets become the lord of those houses. Now look at this table to see which planet is the lord of which zodiac sign. So if you see this table, Mars is the lord of two zodiac signs, which is Aries and Scorpio. Venus is the lord of two zodiac signs, Taurus and Libra. So in this way, each of the planet has gotten a department to handle either one or two zodiac signs. Now let us try to understand that with an example. Now for example, if in your chart third lord is in the fourth house, so how you conclude whether third lord is in fourth house? So if you see, this is the first house where 12 is written, this is the second house where 1 is written, and this is the third house where 2 is written. Now what is 2? If we have a look at the table, then 2 is nothing but the Taurus zodiac sign. And who is the lord of Taurus zodiac sign? It is Venus. Okay, so what you will say then, lord of the third house is Venus. Okay, because it is the lord of the Taurus zodiac sign. And but where is Venus placed? Now Venus is placed in the fourth house of the birth chart. So this is how you will conclude that third lord is in the fourth house. So today we will check the placement 6th lord in the 7th house, but before that I have already made detailed videos on what all things can we see from the 6th house as well as from the 7th house. Please go and check that out before proceeding with this video. Also, a small disclaimer, please note that this is a general prediction depending only on the placement of a lord in a specific house. Accurate results will only come after considering the zodiac sign, planets, dignity of the planets, retrogression, combustion, aspects, nakshatra, ascendant, shardbal, conjunction, and your running time period, which is Mahadasha, Antardasha, etc. Now, sixth lord is going two places away and sitting in the seventh house. Two places away always shows a form of gain that you gain from that planet, or from that planet's significations, the things that you treasure, the things that you accumulate in the form of assets. So, when sixth lord is going two places away, it is a good position to gain financially from the planet which is signified by the sixth lord. Okay, whatever professions and significations will be there related to what the sixth lord is, you will be able to gain financially from that point of view. But again, sixth lord is like the 12 places away from the seventh house, so it is actually the 12th lord going into the first house. So it shows that even if one gets married eventually, one might have a loss of interest in the marriage after getting married and after experiencing what marriage is really, either because of the either the person might turn into towards the spirituality or the essence. Once a person gets, then the person realize, is that it? So something like this might happen, which can give a little bit of neutral attitude, is not too much into it, that kind of attitude. Now, seventh house is part of the Kama Trikon. The Kama Trikon in any chart shows materialistic pleasures, enjoyment, sensual pleasures, all the kind of desires that one wants to fulfill. And on the other hand, sixth house is part of the Artha Trikon, which basically deals with earning money, managing money, saving money, gathering all the resources so that eventually you can. fulfill your desires and fulfill your materialistic and sensual pleasures of life. So when these two houses are getting linked to each other, your efforts are going into earning and managing wealth, so that you can utilize that wealth to gain and to fulfill your materialistic and sensual desires, whatever you have. Okay, now it depends on the chart. Either there will be scarcity of these materialistic aspect, which is why a person is putting so much efforts to earn and accumulate assets in order to gain that, or the general attitude also irrespective might be the same, especially when this dasha period gets activated. Now, seventh house is part of the Maraka houses. So, the Maraka houses are those houses in which the Dasha period time there is a potential to gain pain and suffering equivalent to that of the death. On the other hand, a sixth house is part of the Dushtana house. Now, Dushtana houses are those houses where certain negative experiences or situations is attached to the Dushtana houses, which nobody actually likes to experience in life. Nobody wants to deal with any kind of negative situations which comes in the life. So when we talk specifically about the sixth house, it deals with how to overcome the huge loan that you have, sticking in the loan trap and trapped into all kind of jealousy, rivalry, enemies, dealing with enemies, all these kind of events, then health diseases, all this is part of the sixth house. So when these two houses are getting linked to each other, especially where seventh house is also representative of your spouse, it might give certain health issues or accidents, especially when this dasha period is activated. Now, seventh house, apart from being a Marka house, is also a Kendra house. So, the Kendra houses are like the foremost basic pillars of any chart. House number 1, 4, 7, and 10 are called as the Kendra houses, which shows yourself, your happiness, your spouse, and your career, respectively. On the other hand, sixth house is a Upachaya house. Now, sixth house, apart from being a Dushtana, is also an Upachaya, which means that initially things might not be hunky dory things. There will be struggles, there will be obstacles, but because this is also a upachya house, it means that with your determination, with the positive and the negative experiences that you learn from the dusthana situations, and gaining wisdom and becoming mature and learning how to tackle those negative circumstances, is when you will be able to move ahead in life. And here in this placement specifically, because this upachya is getting linked to your marriage house, it means all these things are coming towards your marriage, right? So dusthana elements will be there, with respect to the marriage, but because you will be able to navigate those dusthana situations, and you will be able to learn from that, and then things starts to improve with time. So with this placement, there is definitely efforts, proactive efforts, more than the efforts that other people put into their marriages. Compared to that, you will have to put even more proactive efforts to sustain a marriage with this placement. But once you are become mature and wise to deal with this situation, things eventually improves with time. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows enemies and competition, and seventh house is a house of your spouse. So, with this placement, it can show that your spouse might have to face enemies, competition, or struggles in his or her work. He or she might be into an extremely competitive fields, wherein a lot of time is needed to put into the craft or the work, in whichever domain they are in. So now sixth lord as enemies and seventh house as spouse. So we can also see it also in the form of swayamvar, which used to happen earlier, where many potential parties are competing to win and gain that desired spouse. So situations like this might also occur, wherein the person that you desire for, you might have to compete with the other parties to win over the attention of your potential partner. Now, sixth lord is something which shows 12 places away, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So, with this placement, if it is a extreme case, then it can also show a denial of marriage or loss of marriage. Sixth lord is a lord which shows struggles and obstacles, and seventh house is a house which shows marriage. So, with this placement, one will have to face struggles and obstacles to get married in life. Okay, you you start to look for a partner, and then a situation X comes, situation Y comes, due to which you are not able to proceed with getting married. Okay, delayed marriage, not able to find a suitable partner. So all these things you might experience before finding the eventual partner. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows your maternal uncle, stepmother, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So, in some cases, there is a possibility of your spouse coming from either the contacts of maternal uncle, maternal aunt, stepmother, or any maternal kind of your lineage. Possibility, and in other some cases, possibility of meeting one's spouse at one's job or from daily routine. Like, let's say you go to a coffee shop on a daily basis and you get someone there, right? So these are, we are just seeing different scenarios which we can see from one singular placement. Final thing we can only decide after seeing the entire chart. Sixth lord is a lord which shows struggles and obstacles, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So with this placement, it shows that your spouse is someone who has gone through a lot of difficult situations in life before marriage as well as after marriage. And with this placement, it is basically that you will have to support your partner through thick and thin. You will have to deal with whatever your spouse is also dealing with. Otherwise, it is very difficult to sustain this marriage, because active partnership and teamwork will be needed if one of the partner is going through a difficult phase of life. Sixth lord is a lord which also shows kind of a robbery, theft, and seventh house is a house of partnership. So in some cases, I've seen that after marriage, both get into a situation where an event of robbery or theft happens. So one needs to deal with that kind of scenario as well. Sixth lord is a lord which shows disputes, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So with this placement, one might have to deal with disputes either with one's own servants or one own employee, especially if anyone is in business, because sixth lord is a natural lord of Virgo, and Virgo is known to be very like, this has to be in this way, this has to be in that way. And even if there is a little bit of imperfection, Virgo sign does not like that. Okay, Virgo is meant, strives to be perfect in everything, and this extremeness when it comes to perfection only makes it too much, prone to disputes and complaining nature, which can also pan out in one's business domain. Sixth lord is a lord which shows pet animals, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So there is a possibility that your spouse might be fond of pet animals. Now, sixth lord is a lord which is showing your daily routine, and seventh house is a house which shows partnerships. So, with this placement, it is better to involve your spouse in your daily routine. It will be good if you guys work together, try to help each other to maintain your health and well being, because sixth lord is also the lord of maintaining your health, maintaining your physical as well as mental well being. Okay, so working together, if you're already doing that, it means that this placement is already working good for you, because this is how this relationship is going to develop. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows your daily routine and discipline, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So With this placement, spouse might be either too service or work oriented, and workaholic nature could hamper one's relationship. Okay, so now in certain situations, like I have seen that it is not even possible for a person to have a healthy work life balance with this placement, because their scenarios are such that they have to put in those extra hours in work so as to come out of a certain situation. Sixth lord is a lord of discipline, and it is sitting in the seventh house of your marriage. So you also need to understand that to maintain your marriage, you will have to have that very disciplinary, rigid approach when it comes to marriage. Like, you don't have to say here or there, you have to focus on what you have gotten, and you need to like focus on that and work towards a singular marriage relationship. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows struggles and obstacles, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So, with this placement, it also shows that spouse might come from a very humble background with not much financial resources backup, but he or she will definitely have that sharp mind and that sharp intellect to be able to earn well financially from his or her own efforts, because sixth lord is also a upachya lord. So even if there is not much resources given to him from luck, from destiny, or from whatever you call, but he or she will have that Virgo's sharp intellect, wherein he or she will be able to gather everything from his or her own efforts. Now, sixth lord is also the lord of loans, and seventh house shows marriage, wedding. So in some situations, one might also take loan for that one special event of the wedding day and for wedding ceremony. So here with this placement, one also has to be very mindful to do a wedding as per whatever our capacity is, rather than going all in for just one day of a marriage, right? We can all have a nice small wedding as well, because otherwise it might put you into a loan trap which might go for years and years. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows debts, diseases, and litigations, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So, with this placement, it is also possible that your spouse might be working either in the law related field or service industry, medicine, doctor, any social work kind of a thing, any form of work which requires a routine, repetitive, process oriented kind of a work, any work which requires an extreme level of perfection, divorce lawyers, any analytical kind of jobs. All this is an industry potentially your spouse could be a part of, but again, we have not considered conjunctions, any other aspects. Okay, we have not considered any other thing. So when we consider all the other things, the results will be modified accordingly. Sixth lord is a lord which shows legal disputes, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So with this placement, when it comes to doing business, there is a possibility of facing legal disputes or frequent quarrels, difference of opinion in businesses or in business partnerships. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows accidents, and seventh house is a house which shows spouse. So, if it is badly placed, afflicted, then there is a possibility of spouse meeting accidents while traveling, because seventh house is also the house of travel. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows struggles in life, and seventh house is a house which shows travel. So, in some cases, a person, after getting married, gets a chance to go to a far away place from where they have taken birth, or to go to a foreign land. But it's not that everything will be hunky dory even in the foreign land. Okay, you will have to put in that daily grind, that struggles, you have to overcome all that even when you are moving far away. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows health issues, and seventh house is a house which shows reproductive paths. So, if this is badly placed, afflicted, then there is a possibility for you to get some health issue related to reproductive paths, private parts. Okay, only if it is badly placed and severely afflicted. Sixth lord is a lord of loans. Okay, it gives you loan, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So with this placement, there is also a possibility that spouse might take some loan or some wrong financial investment which might become very difficult to repay. So one has to be very mindful and can take loan, but take as per one's capacity. Like, don't go too overboard with it that your daily life itself becomes a struggle. And in some situations, native also takes loan to start a business. Okay, now, sixth lord is a lord which shows jealousy, insecurity, all kind of the shadripus which is present in the sixth house. And seventh house is a house of marriage. So, in some cases, your marriage can get plagued due to all these feelings of jealousy and insecurity, whether my partner is loyal to me or not, whether he has eye on somebody else. So all these kind of feelings, kinds of creates a distance between the two partners. Sixth lord is a natural house of the Virgo zodiac sign, and seventh house is the house which shows your spouse. So with this placement, all the Virgo related qualities also gets linked to your spouse, and it could be that spouse might be complaining, nitpicking attitude, short temper, angry in nature, can see minute details, okay, minute imperfections. Now seeing minute imperfections, complaining nature, all this is good for professions like lawyer, where you have to find that flaw so that you can win over the enemy. But uh, does these qualities work in marriage? Now sixth lord is a lord which shows fights and disputes, and sixth house is a house which shows marriage. So there is a possibility with this placement that there will be lots of fights, disputes, disagreements, difference of opinion in the marital life, which might lead to mental detachment from each other. So eventually it depends on how the two people come together and try to sort the disagreements and difference of opinion. Okay, um the how much both persons maturity is, all it all depends on that as well. But if it is not resolved, then it might lead to mental detachment from each other. In extreme cases, it might lead to physical separation or divorce, which in turn is going to make the relation more bitter and inimical, because the sixth lord of enemy is itself going to is sitting in the seventh house. So you might feel that your partner is only your enemy, is not letting you go ahead or progress ahead in life. Now, sixth lord is a lord which shows health issues, and seventh house is a house which shows your spouse. So with this placements, your spouse might have some form of health issue, physical, mental, depending on what the sixth lord is, which might lead him or her towards the addictive tendencies as well, because sixth lord is a difficult lord, because certain difficult situations is what one spouse would have to deal. Now depending on if there are other planets which is afflicting the house and trying to damage it more, then it might lead towards the addictive tendencies. Now, sixth lord is a lord which sits in the seventh house, is giving its seventh aspect on the first house of your personality. So, your personality is majorly going to transform and develop when you see that you are able to deal and you are able to overcome all the difficult situations and the tests and the obstacles that is coming in your life. Your personality develops and you become more confident in your skin when you overcome any kind of health issues that you get. I will in future make separate videos with different type of planets as the sixth lord in the seventh house. If you have this placement in your chart, please do mention your experiences in the comment section. I hope you guys must have liked the video. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Also, please do let me know in the comment section below what more videos would you like to see. Thank you.